What is going on, beautiful people? I am Lee Hammock, the diagnosed self-aware narcissist known as mental illness, and welcome to another episode of A Narcissist Explains. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about cutting off a narcissistic parent or family member, whatever. Stay tuned, like and subscribe for more. Wow, this is extremely tough to do right here, y'all. So I know we talk a lot about narcissistic relationships being like intimate relationships, but cutting off a narcissistic parent is one of the toughest things to do. Because in narcissistic relationships, you can choose your partner. You can choose your significant other. You cannot choose the family that you are born into. You can't choose that toxic mom that competes with you on everything. You can't choose that toxic dad, that narcissistic dad that holds you back from being better than him at sports. Because cutting off a girlfriend or boyfriend, husband or wife or something is completely different than cutting off a parent. Because people will tell you, hey, you only get one mom. You only get one dad. You need to cherish them for the rest of your life. I mean, that is your mom. I mean, that is your dad. But people rarely outside of the house of a narcissistic parent really know what goes on behind those walls. And sometimes cutting a parent off is the only way that you can heal from that parent. The only way that you can take back your power from that parent. And although you can't choose what family you're born into, you can choose what family you make and what family you keep. Stay safe, be strong, hope. All right, y'all, welcome back. Y'all caught me mid-dance. I was dancing, building on my energy for this video. So, y'all, cutting off a narcissistic, toxic parent. So, one of the main pages that I follow, and I'm friends with her, her name is Nia. She runs a page called How to Love a Battered Woman. She had to cut off her narcissistic mom years ago. She has a lot of good information on this subject. I'm going to be interviewing her soon on my channel. If you couldn't read the text on the screen, it says, I just cut my narcissistic dad off. We will see how this goes. You know what I mean? So cutting off like I said in the video, y'all, cutting off a parent it's just tough because it absolutely is. Could it be cathartic? Could it help you release and live a better, more healthier life? Yes. Because you don't owe your parents anything. I know if you have a narcissistic parent that is raising you, they probably conditioned you to believe that you owe them something. They probably conditioned you to believe that that you owe them for being here on this planet. They probably conditioned you to think that everything that you do right now is because of them. They take credit for everything that you do. They probably conditioned you to think that you owe them your life. You're in servitude, like you are indebted to them for the rest of your life for just being born. You deserve, I gave you life. I brought you into this world. I can take you out. They'll say stuff like that to you. What about all the stuff I did? They'll make you feel guilty. You know what I mean? So cutting off a parent is extremely tough. Cutting off a mom or cutting off a dad. And that's a fear of a lot of narcissistic people. Y'all let you know, a lot of narcissistic parents can't fathom their kids cutting them off. But if you do, they'll make excuses like somebody brainwashing them, the other parent brainwashing them, their friends brainwashing them, TikTok brainwashing them, the YouTubers are brainwashing them, blah, blah. It's never their fault. You understand that, right? Even if you cut them off, they'll blame somebody else or they'll try to make you feel guilty. But like I say in the video, you can choose and pick your boyfriend, girlfriends, husband, wives, people that you have in your life and things like that. You can. Most time, I know arranged marriages exist and peer pressure and all that other stuff, but most people have the active choice to pick who you end up with. You can pick your partner. You can absolutely pick your partner. You can't pick who you were born with. You can't pick who you were born to. And I know a lot of children of narcissistic parents, you see the world isn't fair. You're like, why did I get these people as parents? Sometimes you have one narcissistic parent and one codependent enabling parent that allows the narcissist to do horrible things to you, but they never leave because they're trauma bonded to them, and they see it. They feel bad for you when you grow up, but sometimes you end up having to cut off both parents. Even if both parents are not narcissistic, you might have to cut off both parents because if you cut off, let's just say it's simple because I'm a narcissist and I'm a dad. It's simple. Let's just say you want to cut me off. I'm your dad. You want to cut me off. The way my mind works is you're gonna have to cut your mom off too, because now it's me. You have to choose. You can't pick and choose. You can't pick not to talk to me but talk to her. You got to cut your mom off too. And the mom, typically, if the mom is trauma bonded, they're not going to leave. They're going to stay. They're going to pick their narcissistic partner, husband or wife, over the kids. And that's going to make you feel worse. So you have to prepare for all the contingencies. If you want to cut off a narcissistic parent, sometimes you have to cut off the whole family, y'all, because people are going to hold a grudge against you for cutting off your mom or dad or whoever you're dealing with. They're going to, you only get one mom, you only get one dad, you going to cut them off? Wow, I wish my mom was still alive. I wish my dad was still alive. You going to cut yours out of your life.
not knowing what you've been through, not knowing what they've put you through, not knowing what they've done to you, the abusive behaviors, the physical, mental, verbal, emotional abuse that they put you through. People are not going to understand. So peer pressure can keep you in a toxic relationship with your parents as well. Peer pressure, family pressure, sibling pressure, external factors, life in general tells you you should cherish your parents. You can get on Instagram right now and find a meme. My mom, I wish I had a phone to heaven and talk to my mom, whatever. I wish there was a phone in heaven, I'll talk to my dad. You see that type of stuff all the time, and then now you have the task of cutting off somebody who treats you horribly. But sometimes, y'all, those toxic parents or toxic family members are anchors. They're holding you in place. They're holding you right above the surface. Like the water level is right here. They're anchoring you, so only your nose is above the water. You can hardly breathe. You can't do anything else. Like you're anchored to them. They're tied to your foot. Sometimes you have to cut that rope so you can float to the surface and live the best possible life for you. Sometimes you have to cut them off. Sometimes you have to. Like, this is not me just like, oh, Lee, you're doing too much now, Lee. This is not me making this up. This is me saying that sometimes you have to cut off a narcissistic, toxic parent because that's the best thing for you to help you release that and grow. Yes, is it tough because like I said, not only do you have to cut off a parent, if you have brothers and sisters that might have grown up differently in the same household, if you're the scapegoat and they're the golden child, they might not see eye to eye. They might not see eye to eye with you. So you might have to deal with them. You might have to deal with cutting your brother or your sister off too. I'm just telling you, there's moving pieces here. You don't have to just cut, not just mom and dad sometimes. You might have to cut off your siblings because your siblings are on their side. Your siblings become flying monkeys, blind supporters of your parents. And they just, post-separation abuse happens when you cut off a parent because your siblings are not hurting you. Your aunts and uncles are not hurting you. Your cousins are not hurting you. You might have to cut the whole family off. It's not easy. Cutting off a toxic parent there's branches. It's like a big ass tree. You have to hack. You have to cut off the roots. The roots are buried deep. Sometimes you have to cut off a toxic grandma, toxic grandpa. Yo, it's deeper than it's way deeper than just boyfriend-girlfriend relationships when you're dealing with narcissists. It is. I know a lot of people just talk about the intimate relationship because those are easy to talk about, y'all. Because most people who deal with narcissistic relationships, the intimate relationships are easier to talk about. Cutting off a parent is hard because it's multifaceted. It's not just bye mom, bye dad, I'm done. Bye mom, bye dad, bye brother, bye sister, bye aunt, bye cousins, bye family members, bye grandma, bye grandpa, all of that. Now you feel like you're on an island by yourself. You cutting loose that anchor I was talking about earlier, cutting that anchor off your feet can leave you floating towards a deserted island. The anchor had you in place. At least you were around family and friends and some other people. You cut loose that anchor, that narcissistic, toxic family member. Guess what? You might float to a deserted island. You might be like Tom Hanks in Castaway. You might have your best friend might be a damn volleyball. Wilson, soccer ball, whatever Wilson was. Wilson, you know what I mean? Wilson. I remember that's a long time ago. But yeah, that's how it goes though, y'all. If you're dealing with narcissists and toxic people, that's the process. You have to understand that you have to deal with sometimes when you're dealing with narcissistic people, toxic people. Like that's the mindset of a lot of them. Like you have to, if you cut them off, it's multifaceted. Think about it. I'm not telling you not to take action. Take that whatever action that you see fit, but also think about the consequences of the action. What comes next. I try to prepare people for every single thing, not just one thing. I want to prepare you just in case you have to cut your brothers and sisters off. Just in case you have to cut your family members off. Just in case you have to cut your cousins off, your aunts, your uncles, whoever. You might not have a support system anymore. Your family, you might have to be out there on your own. And it's scary as hell to be out there on your own on the big earth, you know, the big world and things like that. But it can empower you to be who you need to be. Like I tell you, sometimes these toxic family members are anchors and they're holding you in place and not letting you live the life that you want to live. I read a book by Bronnie Ware. It's called Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. The number one regret of dying people is I had to pull it up real quick. I wish I had the courage to live the life that I wanted and not, the book is called Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. And the number one regret is I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That's the number one regret of people in hospice, people that are dying and passing away. I wish I had the courage to live a life that is true to myself, not true to my mom, not true to my dad, not true to my family members around me, true to who I am, true to the essence of my core. That's the number one regret of people passing away. So understand that. You don't want to die, you don't go on your deathbed with those regrets right there. The number one regret of dying people. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Like and subscribe for more. Thank you. Mental Healness is out. Peace.